Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Resident Evil 2 Remake playthrough. And we finally have the key that we need to get the key to escape the police station. So...
No. What channel is this for?
This is for...
You didn't elaborate. I'm lost.
This is for BrainScratch Commentaries, John.
Oh, thank God.
I mean...
I thought I was in the wrong spot.
So, like...
I would have been so
I
dumb.
dare to sound, like, professional for a few parts, and you goddamn rag on me for it.
And now you're paying the price. How dare you?
In any case, I could see this coming a mile away. We have all these jail cells chocked full of zombies. Now, I suppose you could make this easier on yourself by shooting the zombies while they're locked up. But that's a hell of a lot of zombies, and it's a hell of a lot of ammo, so don't.
Unless you got an infinite rocket launcher.
You see, I've been getting a fair amount of use out of the Matilda, even though you don't really get ammo for it. There is quite a bit of gunpowder in the game. Wire puzzle.
No, sir, I don't like it.
It didn't work. Oh no.
Now what?
Oh no. I'm lost. There is a trophy for getting the wire puzzle done in like so many moves. So, oh, and there's also a trophy for getting the pesticide figured out within so many moves as well. The thing where you're supposed to fill the beaker. I haven't gotten either of them yet, though. I tend to rush through puzzles and make unnecessary moves. And, yeah, it screws me over a lot. Oh yeah, this is the file that's supposed to tell you Mr. X is a tyrant. The name Mr. X, actually, I think, originates from, like, marketing. Like, toys and stuff that were coming out around the time Resi 2 was.
I don't even think it had a name in the original
In the original game, there was a file that identified it as a specific model of tyrant, but it was a film that I think you could only get in the B scenario, and it just had like the name Tyrant XXX or whatever, T103 Tyrant, and then it showed the tyrant in its tyrant form in a test tube, and you were meant to recognize it once it emerged from the vat of lava and, you know, came at you with two big old spiky arms. None of that's relevant anymore, though, because the tyrant form of this version of Mr. X is completely different. I was actually surprised they toned him down quite a lot. The version of the tyrant in the original Resident Evil 2 was like this big hulking thing with two huge arms that were just entirely spikes. It looked like it would fuck you up, but it also looked kind of ridiculous. Like anime ridiculous.
Yeah, we all knew this sequence was coming.
Yep.
What sequence is that?
Guess
You have to
who?
unlock. You have to, unlock all the doors to get to the guy in the cell. And now all the zombies that were locked up are now released, and Mr. X is facing you.
Oh, okay.
Mr. X is chasing you through the way that wasn't full of zombies, of course. So it's like...
This is a good place to have a grenade ready.
Yeah, it is.
There's like Leon going like, shit, fucking hell. What else is on the can't say on television
Damn
words? Twit, twat.
God damn it. Okay, here's the thing. After this scene triggers, you can't get back into the jail. So I can't go back and pick up my knife.
You have more than enough.
I know, but that was one of the knives that I just switched out because it was in perfect condition.
Oops.
I like Ada's reaction to Mr. X actually still being
Uber's
alive.
here.
She's just like, nothing dies down here, and casually blows it up.
Your ass, that's twice.
I didn't realize you were keeping score.
Look, this isn't a game.
Well, she's like saving your ass twice.
This
It's like, well,
isn't
you
a
didn't. See,
game?
I don't see you getting any of the pieces to solve the circuit board.
Whenever someone in a video game says the words, "This isn't a game," I laugh. I can't help it. You don't know the irony. You can never know.
Yeah.
You can't complain about the key card when I'm the one who got all the stuff to get the key card.
Maybe.
It's like next time you go on the fetch quest to get the key item, and I'll sit in the car to save your ass.
I like the look on Leon's face after she blows Mr. X to Kingdom Come. He's just like, whoa, really now? Anyway, yeah, you can go in here, but you can't go through here again. And there's the zombie with my knife in its back.
It doesn't matter, Leon. This place is gonna get nuked to hell anyway.
He doesn't know that though.
I thought maybe if I shot it like in the butt or something, I could attract it to the door.
No, just dude, the bullets are more worthwhile than the knife.
Not the 9mm or the 45s. Well, the 9mm in this playthrough maybe, but it didn't work. If you make noise, he starts moving, but he only just starts moving and then stops. You can't lure him to the door. If I could have lured him to the door and killed him, I would have gladly taken my knife through the bars, but unfortunately, it was not to be. I always feel so bad when I waste a whole knife in this game, though. Knives are a precious resource in Resident Evil 2, believe it or not. And I only have the one that has like a sliver of durability left.
Still good for one grab.
Yeah. But you know, if I want a defensive item that'll block just one grab, I'll usually go for a flash grenade.
I'd rather just not get grabbed at all.
Okay then, Mr. I'm good at video games. Not everybody has the luxury of
being good at the game has nothing to do with it. It's just thinking about strategy. Now, whether you can actually execute that strategy. Is
Oh
an entirely
man, you
different
know
thing.
what? Dark Souls, the easiest game ever. I came up with the perfect strategy for it. All right, it's just don't get hurt ever. All right.
No, don't play the game.
Well, no, because then you don't win. You don't win the game. You don't
Actually,
lose the game.
you know,
that is true.
in Dark Souls, there is like some really obtuse story element that suggests like maybe you shouldn't have gone on this quest at all.
No, that's Undertale.
No,
only
no.
if you don't. Only if you want to kill everybody, John. All right. Which is, I mean, to be fair, yeah, that's the whole point. But maybe then they also shouldn't have hid all of the interesting lore behind the playthrough that they didn't want you to play. So, you know, that's a different story. Anyway, the
What
point
lore is that?
like all the ones about like you being a psychopath and stuff like that. I don't know.
That's
I
not
haven't
lore.
played.
There's not much lore in the genocide run. You kill
Okay,
things.
fine. It's just a Sans Undertale, all right? He's a meme. All right. If you want to see the memes, you got to play the not
Why
fun
is
version.
everybody
Sans
calling
is
it
Sans
Undertale?
and the two singular reasons to play Genocide Run and Undertale are the super boss fight against super transformed Undine or is it Undine? I forget how Undertale wants
I
you to
would say
pronounce it.
Undine.
I mean, I knew Undine is the correct pronunciation, but I'm not sure if that's how Undertale wants you to pronounce it. So.
Kind of like with Kate Sith, where, yes, the mythological thing is called a Kate She. But if you're talking about Final Fantasy VII, then it's Kate Sith.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah.
Because that's how it looks like.
But like, there's a super boss form of Undine that you fight mid game. There's a fake out where it looks like one of the other bosses might have a super form, but doesn't. And then there's Sans, who is an absolute pain in the ass. But the point is, you play the Genocide Run because you want to play the super bosses. And you want to play the super bosses because you want bragging rights, because they're really hard to get by.
Yeah, here we're at the gun shop, which is the start of the game in the original.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in the original, you'd be like, you'd walk in, and the gun owner would be pointing a gun at you, and he'd be like, "Hey, babe," or "Who the hell are you?" depending on who you're playing as. Uh,
You're not one of those things.
yeah, and then he'll say like he'll lock the door,
Sorry
and he'll
about
stand
that.
by the big ass glass window, and he'll be like, "Yeah, you'll be safe in here." And then if you go back out, you hear him get killed, and if you stay in for any amount of time, you see him get killed. He goes down like a chump.
Yeah, he's basically a completely different character in this game.
Yeah. In this game, not only does he have a Ghost Survivors chapter all to himself, but he also has like some emotional depth. And that he had to kill his wife because she got turned into a zombie, and now his daughter's turning into a zombie.
Yeah, kind of like that last character I expected to get any sort of like character.
We need to terminate her before she turns.
It's interesting that they decided to give him more prominence, though, because Robert Kendo here is the guy who invented the samurai edge. As you can probably guess by the name. Yeah, it always amused me that Raccoon City, this Midwestern American town, has a gunsmith shop named for Japanese swordsmanship. It's like, wow, the layers of irony are like onions. Multiple onions. So many layers of irony.
Now, I haven't played his Ghost Survivor story. What exactly happens? Is this before the game, or...?
No, his Ghost Survivor story is like after this scene. He puts his daughter down, and he's about to shoot himself in the mouth with a shotgun, as is implied to have happened in this story. But he gets a call from someone someone else who's in the town and who's a friend, who has a helicopter ready so that they can escape. So you have to fight your way to the helicopter. The Ghost Survivor stories are pretty simplistic. Like, the mayor's daughter manages to stab the mayor in the side of the neck instead of getting killed. And then she's like, "Oh, I have to go save my boyfriend. He's in the jail." So you're working your way backward from the orphanage to the jail, and
then you die.
well, yeah, and then you die over and over again until you manage to get to the end, and then
And then she dies for real.
no, she finds her love there, and they escape. And presumably that means Leon dies because he never gets his garage pass. Oh well. There's a Ghost Survivor mode for the sheriff, actually, at the beginning. Once you beat all the other three, you get the sheriff's Ghost Survivor mode, which is basically just a horde mode. And the sheriff manages to escape with Leon instead of Claire. It's pretty good.
Oh, Leon, you're so sweet and naive.
She's lying right now, right?
Yeah,
she's lying at
she's
her
not
too.
the FBI. She just has a fake
Well,
badge.
I know she's not the FBI, but she works for Umbrella still.
She's not working for Umbrella. She's working for one of their competitors. Exactly who? No one ever finds out. She's kind of the Revolver
Parasol.
Ocelot of the series without any of the intrigue that made Revolver Ocelot interesting.
She just changes factions depending on what the story calls for.
Oh man, that poster is the best. It's white people smiling. It's like the cheesiest freaking poster but it works because that's every pharmaceutical ad ever. You want to know how this pharmaceutical company is safe? Look at this poster. They have white people smiling. White people always know what's right.
Can also double as a soda ad, a Mentos ad, a toothpaste ad.
Toothpaste,
And
I would say
from-
yes. Sometimes they get not white people for like candy or soda.
Not white people.
Well, yeah,
It
because they're
depends
trying.
on what celebrity is popular.
They're trying to appeal to the hip young crowd, so diversity is cool.
Diversity, ukulele playing, in hipster living.
Mm,
But for toothpaste, I don't think I've ever seen a toothpaste ad with like a black person in it in my entire life. So yeah, you got that one.
There is actually some genuine chemistry between Leon and Ada in this story that I kind of appreciate, mostly because Leon and Ada have been a thing for the last games. So, having some reason to feel emotionally invested in that relationship for a change is interesting. It's a feeling I thought I'd never feel. Because it's like, in Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 6, and in that goddamn Resident Evil whichever movie it is, Damnation, I think it is.
Why do you keep having a stroke when you keep
Resident Evil Damnation. In that movie, they kind of just assume you're already on board with Leon and Ada as this weird couple that isn't really a couple and will probably never be a couple because they're always halfway across the world from each other.
I want them to have like a scene together, and then just Chris just pops his head out of nowhere. Oh, just fuck already.
I mean, isn't Leon trying to get Ada arrested in like every game?
To simplify it as much as possible, Leon's Batman, Ada's Catwoman.
Yeah, essentially. The thing is, like, he's never actively trying to get her arrested. They just wind up on opposite sides and run into each other a lot. Or in Resident Evil 4's case, in Resident Evil 6's case, an evil clone of Ada gets made, and she's running around doing things with Ada's face, and everyone thinks Ada's a bad guy, and that's the thing that actually happened in that story. I don't get
Resident Evil is dumb.
It is. It really is.
Like, is this like a real clone that can like talk and act like Ada? Or
Yeah,
is
it
like
is. It's like a
Okay.
biological clone. It's like a biological weapon shaped like her that came out of a slime pod, and the only way you can tell it's her rather than Ada is that they're both wearing different outfits.
So the only thing that didn't get cloned was their fashion sense. Okay. All right.
Well, she pops out naked. So, yeah. I would say the clothes did not survive the cloning process.
It's always weird when the clothes get cloned, though.
Yeah, what was it with Nuclear Man anyway? He just comes out of the sun with a cape and tights? Okay.
Okay, you know what? I think I have an explanation for this one. If you really control nuclear power, like, you control the ability to, like, move atoms, right? So you could theoretically rearrange the atoms around you and form them into the chemical structures that make, like, cloth, and then make your own clothes by rearranging the atoms in the air around you.
Well,
the only time...
Here's the thing. Okay, Nuclear Man pops out in the vacuum of space, so even that explanation doesn't work. There are no more...
He changes the atoms near him into air to breathe.
What atoms? It's the vacuum of space. It's vacuum because there's nothing there.
The atoms of the vacuums that are just floating in space.
No.
Yeah, it's an actual vacuum. It's like a ginormous Dyson just floating in space.
Okay, so I missed an item, so I'm running back for it because
God damn it, Lewis.
I missed an item in the Claire run. Damn it! I don't want to.
Leon, where are you going?
So you see, since you're finding these in the sewers, if you shoot somebody with that, they're extra dead. If the bullet wound doesn't kill them, the typhoid will. 30 days later.
There's the it was ammo. That was totally worth going back for.
3 bullets.
3 bullets you didn't have before?
I guess.
I was also looking around during this section for a couple of the Mr. Raccoons because I hadn't actually gotten the ones in the Leon exclusive areas. I thought I would be able to get the last of the Mr. Raccoons while recording, but I think I missed like one somewhere, and I'm pretty sure it's Claire exclusive, so I can't get it.
Just look up a guide at this point.
Well, yeah, that's what I was doing, but I wasn't sure exactly where because the guy was a bit vague.
Again?
It's not too late to turn back, Leon.
So stop being a bitch.
No chance. You're stuck with me to the end.
So, this was previously a situation that the A scenario character would always run into. I suppose they gave it to Leon because, well, with the legacy of Resident Evil 4, this fits Leon a hell of a lot better than Claire. So, it's time for a chase
Claire has
sequence.
to deal with the jolly...
Oh,
Claire
God,
has to deal with the
Pukas.
Jolly Green Giant in Code Veronica.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not
so-
wrong.
So why did Leon just tell Ada not to do anything about this when she's clearly way more competent than him?
It's a matter of stay up there in case, let's say a giant alligator comes. Oh, God, there it is.
Well, if we're both down here, we both get eaten. I can be bait. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run now. Running now. Goodbye. Anyway, this is actually really easy, and I'm surprised that so many Let's Players get eaten by the goddamn alligator. Just pay attention to the way...
It's more that it's not immediately obvious you have control at all.
It's plenty obvious that you have control. Does anyone but me know how to read camera cues in video games? Because it's like...
Well, I mean, you're automatically running. It's not like you can do anything about that.
Does anyone but me know how to read camera cues in video games? No.
Cameo cues? No, I never liked cameo. Street Fighter.
Camera cues, damn it.
Okay.
But what I'm talking about is that people, once they're already running, they don't know how to tell which side of the screen the alligator's going to bite down on. But the camera tilts to tell you which way to run. So, yeah. Anyway, one of the...
I would always just read that as just the camera swing, just for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the gameplay.
There's not enough to say that yes, you can definitely do this.
Look, while the alligator is charging at you, the camera sways at an angle to the side that you're supposed to run to. It's
That's
not
inherently
hard.
that doesn't tell you anything though.
Tells you plenty. It's how games like this have been working for years. It's more cues than you got from frickin' Sonic Adventure, I'll tell you that.
Well, in Sonic Adventure, you only ever had to run straight down.
Sonic Adventure. Am I thinking Sonic Adventure or am I thinking of a different one? One of the chase sequences anyway.
I don't think you ever had to do anything but run straight down in Adventure 2, either. Like, the gun truck is more likely to hit you than the whale ever will, but... I also think that the whale doesn't go backwards if you run backwards towards it, though.
That actually has a really big hedgehog phobia.
Oh yeah, you know, Sonic Adventure 2 actively pissed me off by throwing a bunch of rings in your path and giving you no way to know where they were until after you'd already passed them.
You see, it's not the rings that annoy me, it's the ramps that you can jump off for points, because I just run straight off them and it's just like, damn it, I wanted to do a trick.
Damn.
You can't predict fucking anything, and the real insult there is that Sonic Adventure 2 has a perfect mechanic where if you get all the rings in a stage, you automatically get the A rank.
I'm pretty sure that it's almost impossible to get them in most Sonic levels, though, because there's multiple paths.
The only one you can is in Middle Harbor, realistically.
I think maybe City Escape, because you can backtrack decently enough in City Escape. But again, it also requires you to get them all during the skateboarding section at the beginning, which your control's pretty loose there on purpose. And then you have to remember where they all are during the gun truck chase. So, good luck with that.
Identify yourself.
Ned Birkin.
She's who we're looking for?
Not much time.
I like how Annette's like just being held at gunpoint and she doesn't really give a shit.
No, she knows she's not going to shoot her.
That's not gonna happen.
Oh, because they need to take her alive?
More or less.
She's the only one who knows where the G-Virus sample is or how to get there.
Also, good job bringing back the concept from Remake 1 where you had to burn the zombies.
I think she burnt that one because it was infected by a G embryo.
A G embryo.
Just go.
Yeah.
What's a G embryo?
Yeah, because honestly, when I got to this point in the game, I thought they were bringing in Crimson Heads.
That'd have been
this
interesting.
This cutscene establishes the idea of that.
Yeah, but more likely it was just G embryo. They did invent the pale heads for Ghost Survivor though, which amused me. Which are basically just regenerators, zombies that have turned into regenerators.
It's not on her.
Oh, we play as Ada now.
Yeah.
Who is somehow able to get around the zombie-infested city in a tight little dress and heels.
Yeah, you know, before the remake came out, when we saw Ada in her coat, there actually were people who were complaining that she didn't have her fucking dress. And I'm like, really? Okay. This is where we're at.
Yeah,
huh?
I feel like you probably couldn't actually run in that without ripping it. Like, I'm looking at it right now because it's made out of silk, which is not.
Look
a
at that!
super
Look at that pencil
flexible
skirt.
fabric.
I mean, like, did she have this custom made out of some super secret military elastic material?
That's what the Umbrella Corporation was actually studying. And she's got Batman's detective mode gun.
Yeah, she's got a magic hacking gun.
Man, Bruce Wayne must have charged a fortune for this.
I mean, to be fair, it is very similar to the Batman crypto, thingy.
Yeah,
he does
except in this
games.
case, you just point it at things and hold
Point
down a
and click.
button.
Yeah, but this is also supposed to be the 90s, so it's extra silly.
Indeed.
I mean, granted, I don't. It's oh, ew, cockroaches.
Somehow I've fallen behind everyone. I don't know why.
Yeah, no.
Oh, no, I'm ahead. That's my
Yeah, no,
fault.
no, Ted's definitely ahead a little bit.
Okay.
I had a video problem, and so I had to guess where we were. And
Well-
then you managed to comment on one of Ada's lines at the exact point where I found it. So I'm like, yay, I must be on task. But no,
Nope.
I'm not.
You're a bit.
So
You're a
I'm
bit
just gonna
ahead.
pause for like 10 seconds, and then press play, and then hopefully I'll be close enough to being on time.
Well, we're at 25, 30, 31, 32.
Oh, okay. Well, then I gotta wait another 10 seconds. Okay.
Happy anniversary, everybody.
Yep.
Hey.
Memories.
Now, here's something interesting. The Broom HC, I have no idea what model gun this is, but they actually gave Ada her own model of a handgun for this one. Whereas in the original game, she just used Claire's Browning High Power. So, that's interesting.
Did you play as Sherry and Ada in the original too?
Yeah,
Or-
but they were just in like these really short nothing segments that didn't really last very long, and
Yeah,
they were
they basically didn't matter.
run past the same few dogs and do the same block pushing puzzle, and then later on they both have a second segment that's a little bit more story relevant, but doesn't really have much gameplay happening. So it was interesting, but also not. It's like, ooh, I get to play as a different character? That's cool. But you're not actually doing much with them. They didn't really start doing good alternate character sections until Resident Evil 3, where Carlos had actually a pretty long involved section at the hospital that you had to go through to save Jill.
And then they kind of stopped doing them again in RE4 because every time you play as Who's Its Face, it's pretty not that interesting. I mean,
Ashley?
yeah, there we go. I mean, the night
Yeah.
part is scary, I suppose.
The Ashley segments are kind of out of place in Resident Evil 4 because you've been playing this action game the whole time, and now you're having to dodge around enemies survival horror style, and it's like, okay.
You see, I can't remember if it was the Japanese version or a beta version, but apparently Ashley was supposed to move around like a classic Resident Evil game with the fixed camera points.
It was a early version of the
early
game.
version. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Because so she was originally supposed to have the classic RE camera and stuff like that.
The fixed camera angles, yeah.
Which I suppose would have made it a little bit more of a change of pace, as opposed to just being.
It also changed up the
Yeah.
controls. Well, not really the control scheme, but it would change the angle.
Yeah, the thing that makes tank controls work is that once you get used to them, they're not disorienting at all. But if you're only doing them for like 2 minutes in the middle of a game that hasn't controlled like that at all, it's gonna throw you off.
Well, no, actually, it does. If you think about it, it's just the camera angle's different. The
Oh
camera's
yeah, I
always
know.
behind you.
I'm talking about like the whole shebang, the whole way it orients.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, if you were to just throw that at someone after they've spent, like, at that point, realistically, 6 to 10 hours in a behind-the-back perspective, it would, even if it was someone who was used to that kind of control scheme, even, there'd be a period where they just don't know what they're doing.
That's probably why they ended up cutting it.
Yeah.
All things considered.
Yeah.
It really, I think, it probably is best to have it be a Easter egg kind of thing like it was in RE5.
Yeah. Okay. I usually don't do so bad at this section, but for some reason, it just didn't work
You're on
out.
camera.
Yeah.
Where?
The zombies are giving me way more trouble than they do the other times I played.
Again, you're on camera. That's how it works.
I got too used to having a shotgun. Now I have this dinky pistol,
Yeah,
and
that's-
it's like, eh.
Yeah, that was my.
I had a shotgun.
What happened to the gun that she had earlier? Like the one that she was pointing at people? Because you just found that one, didn't you? Or did they just pull it up when you started playing as her to show her this is your gun?
This is the gun, yeah. This is the gun she was pointing at people.
Oh, okay. And it's way less cool when it's not in cutscenes.
Exactly.
Damn it. It's so dark here, too.
Son of a bitch.
See, Leon, that's how you sound. Son of a bitch. There you go.
Son of a bad person. Did I do it right, Ada?
That's not what bitch means. I forgot to turn on the elevator while I was over here.
Oops.
Most of the challenge in Ada Wong's section comes from not
Just not having stuff.
not activating the things in the correct order. Like, sometimes you can jump the gun and activate something before you should, but you're not supposed to activate it until you go through a door or something. Case in point, when we get to the top here. But, I mean, you have enough ammo to deal with the enemies here. Unless you're a bad shot, in which case, good luck. I'm actually trying to get by this guy without shooting him, because I'm so low on ammo.
This is generally what I like to do. I like to at least get them on their knees, get close to them enough so they do their lunge, and then run past them during the animation lock.
Yeah. That's generally what you need to do. You can do that while they're on their feet, even. You just gotta be quick about it.
It's more risky with on their feet.
Yeah.
It's not like the old games where it's easier to do.
Yeah, but
And again, I don't know how to purposefully do the shoving animation.
they do stagger for a few steps after they lunge at you, though. So you can run past them in that window of opportunity.
Right.
Whew.
I'm safe. I'll never see zombies again.
I'm
Damn it!
I was looking to see if there was an item there. I probably should have checked my map to see if it was blue.
Nope, on the elevator you go.
Yep. Nothing could possibly go wrong now. Hi, Annette.
Yeah, she runs like how I run when trying to beat a traffic light.
I like how Annette has a sliding stone wall. Like, wow, you're really going all in on this secret agent hideout shit, aren't you? Oh no!
Well, I've got a magic hacking gun.
I need to activate this lever. Right? I need to activate the lever. Nope. Nope, that past me, that was wrong. Past me? No.
Ah, good timing. Can you get the door for me? Ah!
Oh, good God.
You can break down walls, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just need to lure Mr. X away from the door, and then get past him, and then I can do the thing, right? Maybe this flash grenade will help. Run! Now! Oh!
What? Ow.
Yeah, basically.
Snake, what have you done? You changed the future. You created a time
Okay.
paradox.
Yeah, that happened.
So- I guess chalk that up to Mr. X's incidental kill.